You know, one of the easiest and most forgiving things to smoke is a pork butt. As long as you go low and slow and get to that probe tender point, which is usually about 203 degrees, you pretty much can't go wrong. Some of the smoky taste and mark formation variations are based solely on the type of smoker that you're going to use. Most of the pork butts we've smoked on this channel have been smoked on Weber kettles. And I kind of lost count. I can't really exactly remember, but it's either 1 Blue Billion or 2 Blue Billion butts I've smoked on a Weber kettle. But today, we're going to use the new toy and see how good of a job it does with something as basic as a pork butt. But not just any pork butt. Our good friends at Porter Road have struck again. This pork is raised roaming free in the woods as opposed to in a feedlot, and this really helps develop that deeper flavor. Plus, these hogs are raised hormone and antibiotic free. This is the kind of quality you're going to get with Porter Road. Porter Road is one of our sponsors for today, and they provided our pork butt. Guys, we certainly appreciate that very much. Now, I mentioned getting to use the new toy, and some of you guys may know exactly what that is. It's the kettle Kamado style grill from Spider Grills called the Huntsman. All right, guys, this pork butt weighs about 1/3 pounds. I'm going to do a very, very light trim on it. It's not going to require a whole lot, guys. It's a really good looking butt. Got a little too much fat right here. I'll take some of that down. I was gonna try to make sure you cut away from yourself, not towards yourself. I like leaving a little bit of fat on here, guys. I can always take the fat cap off after I'm through smoking it. As long as I leave some on there, I think I'm good to go, and I'm gonna leave some for sure. This is a pretty big cap right here, though, so I'm gonna get a little more than this off. I see no stragglers on the sides, or nothing hang off the edges. I always check the corners and the sides, the edges to make sure there's not just something to take off. This looks pretty good, guys. I like the way this looks now. Now I'm gonna use 2 different rubs, guys. I'm gonna go old school a little bit. I like Malcolm Reed's AP rub from Killer Hogs. It's a really good salt, pepper, garlic rub. I like this as a lot of base. I used it for many years. I love this rub. And the other one I wanna use is one of Miss Grumpy's favorites. It's called the Gospel from Meat Church. We both really like this a lot. Now it's got some sugar in it, so I gotta make sure that I'm gonna wrap it about 4 hours because I don't want the sugar to burn real bad and make it give a really too dark of a bark. So after about 4 hours, you're not gonna get much more smoke into your meat anyway. So I think we wrap it 4 hours regardless, but I wanna make sure keep an eye on it because it does have sugar in it and it will burn. But I love the rub. I love the flavor. It's one of our favorites on pork, to say the least. Alright, got a pretty good looking money muscle on this one too, guys. Now we'll put on the Gospel here. This is where your color comes from too, guys. This is really pretty color it puts on your meat too. I like it a lot. There we go. We've got it rubbed up now. Got our rubs on that we wanted to use. Should be good to go. All right, guys, this will be our very first butt using the Huntsman. I can't wait to see how it does. I'm sure it'll do great. So we'll get our Huntsman set up. We're gonna go at 225 for the first couple hours using BB charcoal and pecan chunks. After the first 2 hours, we'll go to 250 for the next 2 hours, wrap it in foil, and then let it finish out at 250 until it finishes. Now, those of you who've not used a Spider Grills Venom before, I've got a link to a video right here that shows you exactly how to use it. Makes it super simple to do. We'll get it set up, we'll get started. All right, guys, in the very first video I did with the Huntsman, I did not show y'all adding charcoal to the Huntsman initially. I showed you how to add more later on through the front door, but I think some people made the assumption that was the only way to add charcoal. That's not the case at all. Let me show you real quick. Now, normally I will use lump charcoal or something like this, but I want to be able to assess how much charcoal is burning, how good the heat retention is, that kind of thing. Still getting used to this thing, so I want to use briquettes. It's much easier to assess that using briquettes. So let's get some charcoal into this thing. So I'm just gonna pour it in. You can kind of see it holds plenty. There's plenty more room than this. I'm gonna use one of these little starter cubes. Put it right down here in the bottom, amongst the charcoal. Get it lit. So we got our cube lit. We'll put some charcoal around it. We'll suffocate it, but get it to where enough gets lit. So put our charcoal, put our pecan pieces in, pecan sticks, while this thing gets lit up. We got the draft door shut. We're gonna set the temperature at 225, like I said, for the first couple hours. Get some good smoke on there. And I'll put the temperature probe into the meat. I'll show you that when I get it out here, I'll put it on. But I like to let my temperature get all the way up first in case there's an issue. I mean, maybe the charcoal doesn't light very well or whatever. I don't wanna bring the meat out till I'm ready to put it on and the temperature's up to where it needs to be and some of this dirty smokes burn off and I'm getting some good wood smoke and some good just heat from the charcoal. So I'll wait until the temperature's up and it's all good to go and run like it's going to the whole time. So we'll let this go for a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and close this down so it works well. We'll set the timer up on the Spider Grills Venom. All right, guys, so we're up to temperature now. Now we'll go ahead and put the butt on. Superfly spider web grates on. Good to go there. Now we'll put our butt on. I'm putting bone side towards the fire. Looks good there. Put our probe in now. Make sure I avoid this bone. Good to go there. All right, nighty night, big guy. We'll see you in a couple hours. Now we're gonna let this go, like I said, 225 for a couple hours. Won't even look at it for a couple hours. We might spritz it at 2, but we're gonna jump to 250 in 2 hours, and then we're gonna wrap it at 4 hours in foil. Let it finish at 250 for the rest of the way. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. All right, guys, we're at the 2 hour mark now, and the internal temperature of the meat on the Spider Grills Venom is reading 87 degrees. The ambient temperature inside the Huntsman is reading 226, so we're right at where we want to be. Now I'm gonna open it up, take a look at it, and see if we need to spritz. I don't know if we will or not, but if I do spritz, it'll be with apple cider vinegar and water mixture. So let's see how it looks, guys. All right, looks pretty good actually. Look at that, color's beautiful. It's got some moisture. Let's go ahead and spritz it with a little bit of apple cider vinegar and water mixture. Now, like I said, guys, we're gonna let it go another 2 hours. I'll bump it up to 250 on the Venom, so it's cooking at 250 now, smoking at 250. Now we're at the 4 hour mark. We're gonna look and see. The temperature is at 135. Yeah, so it's getting some good color on it, guys. I like the color of it. Pretty dark through here, guys. This coloration, I'm gonna actually spritz it. I'm gonna turn it. I think I'm gonna turn this back there. Take a look at it. This is getting too much color for me. Color's not too bad back here, but it's getting some color on it back there as well. So I'm gonna give this 1 more hour. Let's put this down. I'm gonna keep a real close eye on it and see how it looks in an hour as opposed to 2 hours, and see where our temperature is and see how our color is. I think we're okay right now, but I don't want the whole thing to get that dark. So we'll watch it for another hour, and then we'll come back and see what we're doing there. All right, guys, see you in a bit. All right, guys, we have reached the stall. We are right at 160 degrees. It's been about 5 hours since we started this whole process. We're gonna get the butt out now. I looked at it just a second ago. It got some really strong color to it, so it's perfect time to pull it out and get it wrapped up and put it back onto the Huntsman. So let's take a look at it. Oh yeah. Very good, guys. I told you that color would be there because of the fact it's got sugar in that rub. But man, that rub is so good, it's worth it. It's very tender, actually, very good. Take the thermometer out here for now. Take it back over to the foil. I'm gonna spritz a little bit before I wrap it. Now I'm gonna double wrap this, guys. 2 layers of heavy duty foil. And I always try to end my foil upward so that it won't leak out the bottom. I mean, we get it super tight. Don't leave any air pockets on it. Make sure it doesn't have any way to braise. You want it to actually cook. Super tight out of that, man. Now we'll put it back on the smoker and put our thermometer back in. It'll probably be another, I guess, 5 to 6 hours probably before it gets done. I'll monitor the temperature. I'm aiming for about a 203 degree. Now, of course, as always, we don't bank on a certain temperature. We bank on a probing tender, right? That'll usually be around 203. Now, guys, it may be dark before this gets done. You may not see me again until I actually show you the final result of it all and talk to you about how the charcoal did and all that kind of stuff. That's what we're gonna do. We put it back on here. We're gonna look at our charcoal and see how we're doing and see how long this is gonna last, so I can keep putting, you know, add more charcoal, whatever I gotta do to have an idea how long this thing cooks without having to add more. So we'll get it back on now, guys. And we'll put our probe back in. Work right there. We're gonna leave it at 250 for now, because if it starts taking forever, we'll end up moving it up to 275 or 300, something like that. I'm pretty content with 250. I like that low and slow like that, especially with pork butt. So we'll see you guys when this thing is done. All right, guys, I lied to you. I told you we were gonna look at the charcoal, we didn't. It's amazing how things leave your mind when you're doing something like this. We'll just double check and get that smoke out of the way for a second, let it all kind of blow over. If you can tell or not, guys, we've used about 3/4 of the charcoal. This section up here that you probably can't see, there's plenty of it there, and it's solid black. There's none of it even grayed over, and of course the rest of it is grayed over, but it's still cooking good. I mean, there's still plenty of charcoal left. I'd say we got at least 2 to 3 hours of charcoal left in here. We'll check the butt and see how it does when it gets closer to getting done. See you in a bit. All right, guys, we got our pork butt done. First of all, let me apologize for the sound. We're in the garage. It's pouring rain outside, so I know it's got an echoey sound, and I apologize for that. Now, our pork butt finished in about 10 hours. Remember, this is a pork butt from Porter Road. They're known for their pork, guys. Really, really good pork. So it's not feedlot kept. It's actually left on the farm to eat and roam in the pasture, which is nice. So we'll get out here and see how we did. Like I said, we pulled it off at last night. It was about 203, 205 degrees, somewhere in that range, depending on where I probed. More importantly, it was very tender everywhere. Pulled it off there, put it in the warming cabinet at 150 for overnight. So it's been here about 10 hours, maybe 12 hours. It's been in the warming cabinet. Let's see if I can get this foil off. Just gonna tear it off so we can get through it quicker. We got juices everywhere. Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh, this is so tender. Look at the pull back on that bone, guys. Holy moly. That bone just pulls right. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at the juices we got left. We'll pour those over top of this thing. Now we'll get this thing shredded up a little bit. We'll just use our fingers. That's all we got to do, use our hands. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Holy moly. Look at the color on that thing. Look at that. Look at it, just pulls apart, shreds easily. Look at the color there. Look at that. So I know the pork butt had a lot to do with this, but so did that Huntsman, guys. It just did a wonderful job. 10-hour cook, mainly at 250. Look at that. That is phenomenal looking barbecue right there, guys. Look how moist that looks, how juicy it is. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get a bite. Looks good, doesn't it? Cheers, guys. Here we go. Wow. Guys, that's fantastic. Now I know that meat church rub has something to do with that flavor, but I'm gonna tell you what, I can definitely taste a deeper pork flavor with this pork butt. That is fantastic. Kudos to Porter Road for that. Check out porterroad.com. They got a ton of different options for you, but try this pork butt, man. There's a difference, guys, in this and when you buy a Food Line or whatever. It's a fantastic pork butt. And they are a sponsor of today's video, so thank them for that, for supplying this pork butt to us. I'm very glad they did. That's a great pork butt. Also, guys, Spider Grills, check out their website. Use the code GRUMPY for anything you get off of there. You get a 10% discount. Guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you got some value out of it today. I hope you definitely will hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, guys, I'll meet you at the smoker.